Are you also Gen Z? No, I'm Gen Alpha. I was like, okay.
Simran was Gen Z. How would you reimagine her?
Dad, sorry. I'm not on this holiday with you. There is no unacceptable behavior besides, I would say, urinating in public. Everybody must stand in front of a camera and in front of 30 people and laugh and cry and, say weird things and dance. I slapped him once, but it was just... हाथ ही नहीं उठ रहा था. And I remember my director turned around and he told me that, I think you want to slap him. I think you're punishing him. Men are not the main course. They're the dessert. What would I have studied? Even if I go back to think कि पढ़ाई करो, लेकिन कौन सी पढ़ाई करते आप? क्या बनते? इसके साथ आप क्या करते? Nayanika's character is, I love her because she's human.
Welcome to today's episode. I'm thrilled to be speaking with someone who has defined Bollywood in roles for over 3 decades. She has reinvented herself over and over again. She balances her identity as a mother, an actor, a wife, on her own terms. She's still outspoken, whether about the industry's sexism, body image standards, or the need for better female representation. Her story at its core is about authenticity. An actor who doesn't conform, didn't conform, who took breaks when she wanted, who returned when the roles excited her, and who continues to evolve with each chapter of her life. Kajol, thank you so much for speaking to Brut.
Thank you so much. That was quite an introduction, I must say.
You're quite a person. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. I wanted to start from your early days, right? And you went to boarding school. Tell us, what were the early days like? What kind of a child were you? What was...
I thought I was an angelic child.
Okay.
I was an angel that my mother was gifted and my parents were gifted this angel who was me. But of course, my mother might have a different opinion altogether if she was sitting on the chair in front of you. I had an absolutely wonderful childhood. I have to say that I had one of those golden childhoods. I had, I lived with my cousins and we all lived together. My mama, mommy, and his 2 kids, his 2 daughters, and my mom, me, my grandmother.
Right.
So initially I lived with my great grandmother as well. So I always lived with, I had this, like literally the village raised me. Mm-hmm. So my mom will be the first person to tell you that. And I had a great time while I was growing up. It's almost like when you grow up with cousins, sometimes you feel like you don't need friends. But I did discover them when I went to boarding school. And
what age did you go to boarding school?
I went when I was about 11 years old.
11 years old.
6th. So I went there and I did discover, I still have those friends till today. The
boarding school friends?
Yes, I do. And obviously they're my longest friends who have known me since I was 11. And
what has sustained that relationship? Because a lot has happened since then.
Absolutely. We've all grown up and grown into women and, had our own lives and been through our whole cycles of families, etc. But I think the great part is that we chose well. We really chose well. So we still like each other. Even after, how many years. I mean, it will be a long, long time. I think it'll be about 40 years now that we've been friends. Yeah. So yeah, it's a long time to know somebody, and they're still the people that I speak to at 3:00 in the morning, and sometimes at 7:00 in the morning. It depends on who's awake at that time.
I think it takes a special kind of person to be able to hold relationships and friendships over a 4-decade period. How have you managed to do that? Do you think you were just lucky in terms of the friends that you found?
I was lucky. I was choosy. And I think most important of all, I realized at some point that I have to keep this circle a little small because there's only so much energy that a person can expend. And you would rather expend it on the people closest to you than try to get more people into that circle. So it's so I have a lot of people that I know. I have a lot of people that I like. I have a lot of people who like me back in return and who I do spend time with occasionally, but I have few friends.
Few friends. And what does it take to become Kajol's friend?
A little, about maybe 5 hours extra in a day. No, I think, like I said, it's, life overtakes you. Like, I would like to be friends with a lot of people. I would like to know them on a daily basis because I do like people and I know that a lot of people like me back. So it's not that it's not there, but it just takes a lot of daily attention. I feel like friendships and relationships take a lot of daily attention. And that's something that is something that is difficult for me to find time for. And so, yeah, that's one of the main reasons.
This way, I was looking at a lot of your interviews, and a lot of people had commented in the section that she sounds like a person who will be an amazing friend. If Kajol's in your corner, she's the kind of person you want in your corner in life. And like you're saying, you sustained friendships over a period of 40 years. People who you became friends with in boarding school. Who is Kajol the friend? Give us a sense of that. Are you somebody who basically stands by your friends, makes sure you have time and you sort of, give that, make sure you're there for them, or give us a sense of who you are?
I try to be a good friend. Like I try to be a good mother, and I try to be a good wife, and I try to be a good person, all of that. And I'm still trying. I'm not perfect. I have hurt my friends at times as well. And likewise, in return, but we've gotten through it and we've gotten past it, and I think we're good. I think the great thing about being a good friend is that we've all kind of grown up and we like who the other person is and how they see us. So I have to say that I have some amazing women and men as friends. And they're really amazing people. I learn so much from them every time, we spend time together or talk or whatever. So I'm grateful that I have these amazing people in my life, and I hope they find me as amazing as I find them. As a friend, I think I am what a friend should be. A friend should be loyal. A friend should stand in your corner and stand behind you when needed, stand beside you when needed, and stand in front of you when needed.
Beautifully put, stand in front of you when needed. We have a lot of young people who watch us, Gen Z, at Brut. What kind of advice would you like to give them in choosing friends?
Okay. I wouldn't give them any advice in choosing friends because I think they're quite cool and they know what they're doing most of the times. The only piece that I would say would be pay attention. Pay attention to keeping the balance between your friends and you. I think that's very important for all the kids today to understand that balance is important. You should get as much as you give in whichever term you're speaking.
That's wise advice. You're raising a Gen Z and a Gen Alpha.
Yes, absolutely.
And we've got Kajol's endorsement.
And I didn't even know what that meant, by the way. Till they told me. Yeah, okay.
So you actually had this conversation where they said, okay, we are like a different generation.
We went through that whole thing. I was like, Mom, we're Gen Z. And I was like, are you also Gen Z? No, I'm Gen Alpha. I was like, okay.
You were 16, of course, when you began Bekhudi, and it was during your summer holidays.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what that was like. At 16, you went back from boarding school. It was your summer holidays. You'd given a screen test, and then you started shooting. What was it like to be in front of a camera at 16 and shoot a full film?
Honestly, I thought it was a very liberating feeling. And I always tell people that they should do at least one film in their lives because it's like therapy.
One film in their life, okay.
Yes, everybody must stand in front of a camera and in front of 30 people and laugh and cry and, say weird things and dance. And it somewhere down the line shows you exactly how less people care about all of it. You know, it really doesn't matter in the end. It really doesn't matter. We all are so preoccupied with keeping this persona, this facade. No, I wouldn't say a facade, but this persona up. Because you can't cry too much, you can't laugh too much, don't talk too loudly, don't laugh too loudly, don't be too much. This is not right for company, this is not right, ये इधर नहीं होना चाहिए, ये उधर नहीं होना चाहिए, 4 लोगों के बीच में ये नहीं बोलना चाहिए, 5 लोगों के बीच में ये इस चीज के बारे में बात नहीं करनी चाहिए. And when you perform in front of a camera, you realize that you realize how little it actually means. All these meanings that you've put up are in your head. And they matter to very few people. They don't matter in the long run. So in the long run, it really is about, understanding that when you act in front of, like I've stood in the middle of a road. I've stood in the middle of fort in high hot summer, wearing a pair of shorts and a halter top, standing on top of a taxi with 5 taxi drivers down there dancing, and I am dancing on top of the taxi. So, I mean, you can't even imagine a situation like that. It is beyond your imagination.
It's never going to happen in real life.
It's never going to happen to you, babe. Sari or not sari is not going to happen to you. So, I mean, out of all the most ridiculous things, I've done that. The most ridiculous thing. And stood there. And I've come off that taxi and sat down and realized कि कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. आप वो भी कर लो तो भी, I mean, it's not going to... इतनी सारी चीजें करने के बाद, इतनी बड़ी बड़ी अजीब अजीब अतरंगी चीजें करने के बाद भी आपको बाहर वापस आके अपने साथ ही बैठना है. It is how you look at yourself that always matters the most. It is not how the world sees you.
That's a huge experience to go through at 16. And I've never quite heard anybody put it the way you are, in terms of acting can be liberating and one should do one film at least if possible.
Definitely. It's one of the most liberating. I remember the first scene that I had where I had to slap Kamal. And I had never slapped. I mean, I had slapped a person. I had slapped 1 or 2 people in my life. But to slap somebody completely blameless in front of you for a scene was beyond me. I could not understand it. I could not identify it. And it was just not working. I couldn't slap him.
The cameras were rolling, but you couldn't sort of bring yourself to...
and I couldn't... Like, I slapped him once, but it was just... हाथ ही नहीं उठ रहा था. How do you do it? It went beyond. It was my morality, my ethics, my conscience. And I liked Kamal. I really liked him. He was so sweet and so nice to me. A perfect gentleman. I mean, like, he was lovely to work with. Why in the bloody hell would I slap him? So it was so alien to me at that point of time. And the heart... that I would go and just like lightly tap him on the face, and it was just not happening. And I remember my director turned around and he told me that, I think you want to slap him. I think you're punishing him. That's why you keep doing this retake again and again and again. You want to do it. You're punishing him for something. And I looked at him and I was like, I was so angry with him. Abhi tu dekh. उसके बाद एक परफेक्ट टेक चली गई, लेकिन मैं इतना फूट के रोई हूँ उसके बाद.
You cried after that?
I have howled after that. I've sat and I've cried. I've apologized to Kamal. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. But it affected me. Like, it affected me on a deep level that I have done something completely, like in my head it was, I have done something completely unfair to somebody who so totally didn't deserve it. And it was just so wrong. Why did I do this? But I did it. And again, like I said, it's like every time you do something that is like, every time you do an emotional scene and you're howling and whatever, it opens up barriers, it opens up filters, it opens up all these, like I said, these preconceived notions of what we have, of what we should do, what we shouldn't do, what is okay, what is not okay. Everything is okay.
Everything is okay.
Everything is okay. There is no unacceptable behavior besides, I would say, urinating in public.
Okay, that's one thing which is not acceptable, which I think a lot of Indians can learn from.
Yes, absolutely.
The moment where we are. You decided to help the audience understand that you did this movie, and then you decided to not go back to school and jump with both feet into cinema. What were the reactions like at home? And I've been waiting to ask you this, especially your nani. What did she say when you decided, this is it for me, this is what I want to do?
Honestly, even at that time, I wasn't sure about after doing my first film. I loved the experience of working on a film set. I loved the work. I thought I was decent at it. I wasn't great, but I was decent. Everybody else thought I was good. And I was getting more offers to do a film. So it was more like, it took me time to actually say that, okay, should I study or should I continue with something that I like, which may not be such a sure shot deal? Maybe I can do both. I wanted to keep my feet in studies. So I studied as well for a little while. But yeah, I continued to look at offers. And then when, I got another film and then I couldn't go back to college again. So then I was like, okay, theek hai, abhi na kar hi leti hu.
So you finished school. You finished school as you were...
But I couldn't finish college.
Okay.
And that was okay. That was okay. So as far as my grandmother was concerned, she was very happy. My grandmother was very happy. Little worry. But I think they were both very clear that, okay, you want to work, it's all well and fine, but you have to treat it as work. And you have to be responsible enough to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to reach for a 7 o'clock shift on your own. We will do our best to support you, but you're going to have to do this. This is an adult responsibility. So you have to understand that aspect of it. And I was like, okay, I can behave like an adult. I may not be an adult, but I can behave like one for a little while, little longer at least. My dad actually was the person who kind of warned me off it. He's like, you better be careful. You're getting into the movies, but you should think 30 times, because once you get into the movies, then that tuna doesn't come off. Ek baar lag gaya to lag gaya. And I was like, no, Dad, I don't believe this. What is this nonsense? If I want to tomorrow leave the films also, and if I want to do whatever I want to do, who's going to stop me? Who's going to be there to tell me that, I cannot do this? I cannot be something else other than an actor. Why are you so close-minded? And as usual, he was right for that time and space. Maybe not today, but at that time and space, yeah, he was right about it.
Once an actor, always an actor.
Absolutely,
at that point in time.
Yeah.
And today, when you look back at that time, you seem to have lovely memories of it, coming into your own. Financial independence also would be a really big thing, having that at such a young age. But my question to you is, do you feel at any point in time it was too soon for you? Did you feel you missed out on some part of... because when I look at it, I was interviewing, Prague's the chess champion, and he never went back to school after the age of I think after standard 3 because he was he was a genius. He was touring all the time, and he said that I've never gone back to school and I don't know what it is, and you can't miss something that you didn't have. So my question too is similar. Do you feel today when you look back that you had your whole life to work, maybe those college years carefree, not having was that something you think about it at all when you see your children, what they are going through? Sometimes I do think about what I would have done if I had not joined the films. But when I look back at who I was then, I know for a fact that I found my fit. I found the groove that I wanted to sit in and who I was. So I found the kind of people that I wanted to be with and the work that I wanted to do. So I think for me, at that point of time, it was the right decision. And my mindset. It also depends on your mindset. At that point of time, I truly was not interested in studying. What would I have studied? Even if I go back to think कि पढ़ाई करो, लेकिन कौन सी पढ़ाई करते आप? क्या बनते? इसके साथ आप क्या करते? I was always more interested in, I was very interested in dancing. I was very interested in, music. So I was a little more on creatively bent anyways. And you were the head girl as well in school? No, I was not the head girl. I was the captain of my house. I was not the head girl. Okay. The head girl was somebody else.
and she was lovely. And but I was always creatively bent. So I think that I found the perfect fit for me, and luckily for me, it worked for me. If it had not worked for me, I would have found something else to do.
So it was the right fit for you. That was
At that point of time,
at that
yes.
point of time. And tell us a little bit about, were you protected on the sets at that time? In the 90s, we used to hear a lot like mothers would accompany, a young,
I have to
impressionable...
say that I had the most amazing people.
Okay.
I had Mickey and I had Gautam and I had Rahul uncle for that matter. I had these 3 overprotective people around me who so superbly made sure that, I was in every way taken care of. And yeah, baby, where are you going? What are you doing? Why are you standing there? Come here, sit down here. So all of that. So yeah, I was very, very well taken care of.
Well taken care of. You had such an unusual influence of strong women in your life, right?
Yes,
Very
I
early
did.
on. When I read about
I wouldn't say unusual, honestly.
No,
but yeah.
everybody doesn't
Yeah.
have it. Everybody doesn't have it. Nobody can boast of... I mean, your grandmother,
Yeah.
she was not just an actor, director, producer.
Real estate mogul.
Her mother was obviously in
Yes.
was again a really strong,
Absolutely. Very
woman
strong
as well.
personality. Very strong personality.
Your mother has
Yes,
a strong
yes,
personality.
yes.
So, and you lived with your grandmother, and she had a
Absolutely.
lot of influence in your life. I want to spend a little time understanding on how did that influence shape you, of being surrounded by strong women and growing up with them.
More than, shape me, I would say that I think the one thing that they gave me was this innate confidence that as women, I mean, like, I don't know anybody else's childhood besides my own. So I'm speaking from my own experience. बट अगर लाइट बल्ब भी चेंज करना होता तो खुद कर लेते, मतलब इलेक्ट्रिशियन को फोन करके मतलब कर लेते. It was manageable. Whether it was the car, I remember my grandmother sitting, opening the bonnet of a car and looking at the carburetor and saying that, "Acha, theek hai, now just get the water from here." My mother would drive me from Bombay, me and 4 my 3 cousins, to Lonavala, which was a 3.5-hour journey at that time. The car would stop in the middle. She would open the bonnet, get the water out, open the carburetor, pour the water. She would do it all by herself. So there was no driver, there was no nanny, there was no maid, there was no helpers, there was nobody. It was just us. And my grandmother, when I was in school, at that point in time, she must have been 60 at least. She would drive from Bombay to Panchgani. And I was 12 years old at that time and I had braces. So I had to go and get my braces checked every month with the doctor in Pune.
Oh, wow.
So she would drive 5.5 hours to Panchgani, 3.5 hours to Pune from there with me in it, get my braces checked, sleep over there in Pune. The next day, drive me back to Panchgani and then drive back to Bombay.
Wow.
At 60. That was my grandmother. So it's like, that's...
Being independent.
It is so much, it's not even being independent. It's understanding exactly what you're capable of. You are capable of, as a human being, I would say that you are capable of taking care of yourself in every which way. In every which way. Whatever you are okay. And wherever you need help, always turn around and ask for help. It's as simple as that. I think that's the biggest lesson that I've learned from everybody.
Do you think that defined your relationships going ahead? And why I ask this is, for a lot of women, even today, Gen Z, millennials, we can be very confident and independent in our own right, in the professional world. When it comes to the personal world, it's harder to form those equations. Sometimes men are not ready with it. Sometimes they don't know what to do with you because, you're so independent. You don't need them, so to speak.
See, I think Cher put it in the nicest way, I think Cher had a lovely quote, unquote, which I've laughed about. But she was like, men are not the main course, they're the dessert. There's something that, and you really want to have that. I've laughed at it. But yeah, it's like, even for men for that matter, they don't really need us. We're human beings. We're grown up adults. We don't really need anybody else. हम गाय के बछड़े थोड़ी हैं. तो हम बड़े हो गए हैं. हम एक दूसरे को, we want each other in our lives, and we want to have preferably a nice partner of the opposite sex. Would like to have him to contribute to our lives and to make something better of it than what we would have alone.
To make something better of it than what we would have alone. I'm going to shift gears to your upcoming series, Trial Season 2. And it's really interesting, your character. In so many ways, because it's the female at the center of courtroom drama. Yeah. Largely courtroom drama, which is done very well as a genre. In India, we've seen, male figures do it. So it's amazing to see a strong female figure do that. And coming into her own, so tell us a little bit on how did you choose this? And what did it feel like playing the character?
So I'll tell you why I chose it. I am a huge fan of the original serial, which is The Good Wife. And Nayanika's character I love her because she's human. She's like every one of the women that I see around me. And her decisions you identify with. You understand why she did what she did. Yeah. And you may not agree with her at times. You may think that, damn, you should not have done that. Or, shit, ye kar leti na, ye kyun kiya, ye kar leti na. But the whole point with her that's what I love about her, is that she's coming from a bad place. She's unsure. The season 1 is about where she's unsure about what she's doing, where she is, where she stands in society as a wife, as a woman, as a mother. All 4 are roles that she's suddenly struggling with. And, the decisions that she makes around it. And they are decisions that she has to take everything into account for. She's not only trying to be a good mother. She's trying to be a good mother also. She's trying to be a good person also. She's trying to be work her career also. Have to be financially independent also. Somewhere down the line, support her husband also. So there are so many things that she's trying to, and she's struggling. What I like about Nayanika is that she's struggling and you see it. She's not perfect. Right.
She doesn't have it all figured out.
She doesn't have it all figured out. And, and then, of course, towards the end of season 2, you see her, coming a little bit more into her own. And then season 2 starts. And, you have now her growth as a character. So it's lovely to see. It's like reading a book and you read the first 3 chapters of it in season 1. And then you're like, oh my God. This is so interesting. I really like this character. And then season 2 is you pick up the book and go to chapter 4. So it's familiar because you know all these characters and you know what they're capable of. And then you come to chapter 4 and you're like, oh my God, I'm dying to see what she does with it. So yeah, I love her character because she's human.
She's human. And you're absolutely right. You're always sort of deciding for her, why didn't she do this or do that, and go in that direction. Yeah. I believe you love looking at reading a lot of crime and watching a lot of crime series as well.
I do. I enjoy it. Not all of it, but yeah, I like some crime series. Yes.
Which are some of your favorites?
I like episodic based crime series. So I love Criminal Minds and CSI and all that. Yeah, I've watched all of that. Yeah.
So proper hardcore or hardcore solving. I have the last 2 questions. I think we're running out of time, I know. The second last question is this. Simran, we've loved always entire generations growing up on that decade after decade. If Simran was Gen Z, how would you reimagine her today?
Well, Simran in Gen Z would definitely not be asking her father for permission to go anywhere. She'd be telling him, yeah,
I'm there.
Yeah, I'm there. Or she'd probably be messaging him, Dad, sorry, I'm not on this holiday with you. But yeah, Simran I think would be a very, very different character in today's day and age. And I like I said, I don't think that magic can be recreated. I don't think DDLJ can be recreated because I don't think films reflect society, and society has changed hugely since then.
But thank you for giving that character and that movie to us. That still continues to inspire and we love. My last question to you is, and I wish I had more time, but my last question to you is, if there's one philosophy that you'd like to share that you live by with our viewers, what would that be?
Well, this is another line that I've read that I think applies to all of us, really. Live lightly. Just live lightly. Don't take everything so seriously. It's not meant to be.
Thank you for that, Kajol, and wish you the best for the upcoming series. Thank you for speaking to Brut.
Thank you. My pleasure.